This part of carnivore and keto diet is really gross. Let's get into it. Welcome everyone to my channel. Now let's get into this. What are some of the gross things that happen when you do a carnivore or a ketogenic diet? Well, let's focus tonight on, because it is nighttime, the tongue. I know. Now, it's not just the tongue, it can happen to the entire body, but the grossest thing is the tongue. Back in the day when people did keto, they talked about the keto flu, but it's just a word, keto. This happens when you cut out the carbs. It doesn't matter if it's in the form of the snake diet or fasting or a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet. All the same unfortunate reaction of a candida die-off. And this is when your body is releasing toxins as this stuff is dying off. When you are feeding the candida, the fungal growth, it's growing, it appears to be quiet in some people. But when you stop feeding the monster with glucose or having high blood sugar, right, because you're driving ketosis or you're not eating the carbs and the sugar and the fruit anymore. And yes, your carnivore with fruit can keep that candida skyrocketing. But when you cut out the fruit, you have a die-off reaction. And this is a release of toxins. And this changes the pH balance in your mouth because there's bacteria in your mouth. And then a proliferation of fungal infections begin to overgrow on the tongue. I see this with a lot of carnivore people. Their tongues are normal and white pinkish. Then it dies off and this thick layer of cheese begins to form. So if I stick out my tongue, no cracks, no geographical patterns, no strawberry tongue, just a normal tongue. No white, thick cottage cheese, and it starts in the middle and works its way to the front. And it's gross and it smells when people talk. And I see this and experience this with people because I've done this for so long, who cut out their carbs and they're having a massive candida die-off. So how do you mitigate that from not happening so bad when you're doing carnivore or keto? Well, there's a couple things you can do. You can do oil pulling with oregano oil or oil of oregano and coconut oil and do a wash of it around your mouth. And spit it out. You can also do activated charcoal, which I wouldn't do activated charcoal as the first step because it constipates you. But if you're having thrush or if you're having itchiness or booty hole itching and vajayjay itching, yeah, this is traveling all over the place. Although the bunghole and the vajayjay, that's a local reaction, so is the tongue. But there's a large proliferation from the gut as well. Yeah, bentonite clay can help a wee bit because it's sort of soaking up the toxins. But activated charcoal really minimizes the response, or the reactions rather, of that die-off. Sometimes when you cut out your carbs, actually most of the time people are having die-offs of oxalates. But really, the candida thing's out of control. Every time I ask somebody to stick out their tongue who's doing carnivore, it's white and cheesy and goopy in the middle. It's pretty gross. And sometimes you don't see this happen until you stop eating the carbs. And then you eat the fruit and it builds up. Then you stop eating the fruit and then the tongue gets cheesy and nasty and thick. And then people have itching and all kind of weird spots. But yeah, best thing to do is do a ketogenic diet. Years ago, they tried to say that ketones made candida worse, which is garbage. Don't listen to that. That was just people in the mainstream trying to get individuals not to do a ketogenic diet. The best thing to do is to not eat carnivore with fruit. And if you can avoid the starches and try to be ketotic, then you can really quiet down that candida. You can't really kill it because it's got a biofilm around it. And when you start eating fruit again, it'll just come right back. Some people try ozone therapy. Some say it works. Some say it doesn't work. And some use high doses of vitamin C. People have like mucousy stuff come out of their orifices. Kind of gross. But yeah, got to fix that whole candida issue, especially when you see it on the tongue. Carnivore can't fix that. Keto can't fix it. It can minimize the candida albicans spores, but don't do the fruit with the meat. Peace.